Hello there, Azer here. This time I just had to make another video again because something happened that I think it might look like a very small thing, but it's going to blow over. Helldivers 2 literally requires their PC players, which is mostly just Steam players, I suppose, because that's where they actually publish the game on, anyways, to had to have a mandatory PSN account to be linked in order for you to play Helldivers 2 on PC. Okay, let's be real here. I always hated how, PlayStation has this uh how to say closed garden that's attached to their PSN account or something like that. I don't understand why. Back in the PS4 era, you don't really have a lot of like closed garden deals like that. And then they actually, ramp it up like 100%, like up like 10 times, tenfold when they released the PS5. Hence why I really don't like how the PS5 works. It requires you to be always online. It requires you to be signing with a PSN, which, to be honest, PlayStation is never known for their safety, on their security of our personal data. They have been got they have been hacked more than Microsoft got hacked, like throughout the whole decade. Like if you look at the reports on how many times Sony customers got their personal information leaked, Sony customers credit card information got leaked because of hacking attempts, etc., etc. Like if these things never happened before, then I think, you know what, I'll just make a PSN account because yeah, it's a trustable company that Sony is able to, protect our data. But apparently, looking at the whole track record here, it's pretty obvious why I don't really want to make a PSN account just to play PlayStation games, right? So let's be real here. PS5 does not have much games for you to just, literally play all the time. Like people who have a PC will just leave their PS5 in the dust because, well, why would you want to play on PS5 if you can play most of the game on Steam, on PC? All of the PS5 exclusive games that was touted to be like the must-haves on PS5 has all since going to be released on Steam anyway. So eventually, the PS5 is going to be just another piece of history and be left to getting dust, in the drawer because all the exclusive games are not exclusives anymore. The only other reason that people maybe play PS5 is probably because of Helldivers 2 and Stellar Blade maybe. But then those are like just 1 or 2 games. Do you really want to buy a console for like, I don't know, 1 game and then that's it? Like can you play that 1 game forever? Or the PC, well, if you purchase a game there, you can keep your game there forever. And even if you upgrade your PC, you still gonna own those games as long as you back them up. So that's the pro of PC for the most part. That's the longest time. But now Sony have the galls to actually force that all Steam players has to have a PSN account. Remember, they did not force us to do this from start. At first, we already being told that, Arrowhead Studios is independent. They are just, Sony is just like the publishing partner, and they're never going to like dictate all of the stuff that is going on in Helldivers 2. Yes, from the look of the gameplays and stuff like that, and the monetization stuff, yes, I do not see any influences that Sony might want to like get into it. But now that we look at how Sony really wanted to make their investors happier, they now wanted to force all of the PC players to turn into PSN, into like the PSN bots who are not playing the PS5 at all, and count those players on the PC as part of the PSN community. despite them not owning a PS5 at all, which is like very, very bad. Like, why would you want to force the player base in PC to be part of your console stuff? You know, like, well, why? The person who are playing PC is not going to play console unless the console is very good. And this is pretty much shown with Nintendo. The reason why people even buy a Switch at all is because it has very, very good games. And there's a lot of very good games on the Switch. Compare that to PS5 and Xbox, well, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that you don't really need those consoles to play those very good games anyways. So, in the end, why? That's the reason why a lot of people are angry now, because they are either going to force a refund, which I don't really think is possible because most players already played more than 60 hours anyways, because the game is just that good. And unfortunately, the player base is just now going to keep going down now because of this whole issue here, this whole drama that Sony dictated onto them. I believe Arrowhead Studios is trying to seek a resolution to fix this whole issue while, you know, working on the game as well, because unfortunately they had to face the fire because they didn't know that Sony suddenly enforced this rule out of nowhere. A lot of people argue that this was like a day one occurrence and it should have been like this since launch. But no, we did not see that kind of a thing because there's a issue at the launch, right? That's why they give us this optional grace period, so that we don't really need to, you know, create a PSN account to play the game. And it's fine until now. They suddenly just wanted to drop this whole grace period and just force us to have signed this NDA with PlayStation. And then, do you know what this actually is going to cost? This is going to make this is actually going to allow Sony, or, you know, PlayStation, to actually ban players on the PC for inappropriate behaviors or hacking. Oh, really? Are you sure you're going to just uphold the community values just because, you know, just for this security reason alone? No, of course not. They are just doing this just so they can get more player count amounts, just so they can get hold of the PC players' data, just so they can, you know, get the slice of the Steam player base pie and eat it all by their own. No, we have to make sure that this kind of thing is not going to stand, especially how they have treated Stellarblade and how they have censored Tsukihime. So no, you should not allow this kind of crap happening at all costs, because from now on, don't play Helldivers 2. If you want to refund it, you might be able to, but if you cannot, just uninstall the game and just stop playing at the moment. They say that the whole login system is going to have a mandatory PSN login after the May 30th, but I believe they are going to have to put out a resolution, or most of the players is going to quit. By the way, if there is no Steam or PC players playing Helldivers 2, half or more than half of their player base on Helldivers 2 is going to just leave outright if they actually continue to do this. That is the possibility, alright? And I don't really see that they wanted this kind of thing to happen. So hopefully Sony can realize their error and reverse their decision. And from then on, I'm not gonna touch Helldivers 2. I've been enjoying the game so much, like recently, because of the new updates and the balance patch that they actually did. And there's even the new Warbond that I really wanted to just pay money to get it. But unfortunately, looking at all this crap going on again, I'm just gonna stop until they do a proper resolution. I believe Arrowhead Studios is doing their best to try to solve this without any drama. I hope they are succeeding on their attempts. And that's all. Sayonara.